let's see what our senior lecturer in sustainable construction and climate change, John Grant, thinks of that. John, welcome to the programme. OK, so what do you think then, John? Fracking, are you for or against?
Well, I'm generally against it because it's just not reliable enough. You know, your guest just said, you know, there's no risk. There generally comes in with a 95% confidence, which does sound good on the surface of it, but we are talking about hundreds of wells that we're dealing with here. And so that 95% means that you're losing 5 wells viability, leakage per 100, which is a lot when you're dealing with hundreds of wells. And the gas leak just from gas, this idea that gas is a bridging clean fuel is just, you know, it's just not true. The idea that gas is going to, we have to use gas at the moment because that's the economy that we've designed. But the idea that we continue to perpetuate that idea that we always have to look for more gas, this has to be put on hold. Surely we can see now with this variability in gas price, and fracking is not going to alter that. Not the volumes that are going to be pulled out in the UK. That we need to move away from gas, and the best way to do that is to use less energy, to need less in our homes, and that has to be pursued aggressively rather than this almost like a drug pusher.
Well, John, I'm going to bring in Brian because you've made a few points there, and I know that he's got different points of view. So Brian, John has said that we don't really need all this. You know, we don't actually need any more. So what are your thoughts on that? He's saying we've got to stop pursuing this particular behaviour. What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we need gas to heat our homes because we don't have an alternative, and the only thing that can replace gas in time is cheap nuclear power, cheap, plentiful, 24/7 nuclear power. You certainly can't do it with renewables, and that's well known. It's not intense enough an energy source to replace heating. The idea of heating our homes with less heat is a bit of a delusion. It's OK with new homes, new houses, but most of the housing stock, you can't reduce your heating without getting a lot colder. So I don't quite know where the reality of that statement is.
The way you do it is by improving insulation. I mean, 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I built my first houses that don't need heating because they're so well insulated and are cool in the summer. And our current government kicked those policies into touch in 2015. There are, of course, different ways of heating homes. There's a huge amount of energy just falling in from the sky. If you can capture that, you can live passively around that. You do not need.
But that's going to take a while, though. Yeah, but to do all the things you're saying, we are moving towards that as quickly as you can. But in the interim, we need something. No, and look at the prices. The prices are very high. You said that you're saying that we don't really need this extra. We do, because otherwise nobody will be able to afford to heat their homes.
Well, you can heat homes using electricity and heat pumps in a considerable number of existing homes. The research has been done, and about 20 to 30% of homes, as they stand now, could be switched over to heat pumps. Where
I'm going to go to Brian because he laughed at that. But Brian, why is that not?
Well, we've had on a previous programme here, we've had the engineers on who do these things, and it just isn't a viable option for anything other than a new build. You're just talking. No, sorry, you're talking over me now.
Let him finish.
I've patiently waited for you to stop talking, so perhaps you could.
Okay.
Go on.
The point is, it only works for new builds, and in this country, we don't need to build new builds. What we're talking about here is fracking now, and you made the assertion that fracking wouldn't make the price of gas go down. Well, that depends how it's managed by the government. There's no reason why, once we have a sovereign resource, which, of course, all the activists have tried desperately to stop us having, because they want us to be in hoc to Putin or Qatar or wherever. If we have a sovereign resource, we can change the laws, we can bring in emergency powers, and we can take control of the pricing. It's quite straightforward. You pay people to...
John, final word to you. You've got about 30 seconds to make it.
OK, well, we don't really know how much gas there is under our feet. First of all, that was made clear in that research. So, there is a real uncertainty And when you have an uncertainty like that and people's lives and homes on the line, we should be pursuing something that is certain. And electricity supply, we are moving over to electricity now. We have to leave fossil fuels in the ground because of the wider climate issues as well. Our planet's on fire, underwater, droughted, and the idea that, let's pursue
You're going over your 30
fuels
seconds.
is borderline insanity.